Very good afternoon and thank you for joining us at Market View with me, Sifiso Ngumalo. It is 2 p.m. Central African time and I appreciate your choice today in spending time with us. Over the next half an hour, we'll explore the latest economic developments shaping our nation's landscape, as well as their impact on sustainable economic growth. Today's agenda, it includes a conversation with our esteemed in-house business journalist, Nelson Langamandla. We want to delve into the review of the capacity building model for the Youth Enterprise Revolving Fund. Now, this endeavor is pivotal because it is important for the prosperity of young entrepreneurs aiming to address the challenges that are faced by many beneficiaries in sustaining their businesses. Stay tuned for this illuminating dialogue. Now, later on the program, you must be aware now, we'll provide an in-depth analysis of the day's financial markets with our economist, Sanele Sibia. But first, let's kickstart the show with today's business news. For our first story, the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa has gathered central bank leaders from member states to deliberate on the online retail payment platform, which is set to be live in November this year. The Chief Executive Officer of the Comesa Business School, Teddy Skubramanian, says this system will make trade between member states to be fast and more efficient.
That the cost of trading in the Comesa region is still quite high, and payment issues is still prevalent, especially for SMEs, young people, and women entrepreneurs. So this payment platform that we are trying to develop at the level of Comesa will bring down the cost of trading and also help to promote MSMEs, women entrepreneurs, and young people to do business and make payment across borders. So that meeting is crucial in that respect so that we can facilitate trade and commerce in the region.
The Chief Executive Secretary of the Comesa Clearing House says they are working to ensure that countries are able to trade using their currencies under the retail payment platform.
Governors of central banks then said Clearing House need to re-establish itself, and that's how we came up with the regional payments and settlement system, which now only deals in USD, Euro, the pound, those major currencies. And so now we have been challenged to say we need to go back to our original mandate and see what it is we can do to promote the use of national currencies. And what I would like to mention as well is that the main aim of Comesa as a regional economic community is to have regional integration and eventually have an African monetary economic community or integration. And the only way to do that is to make sure that everyone can use their national currency to trade, and then we have sort of a reference currency when it comes to the settlement of trade and services.
Fikile Shongwe, a lead specialist payment systems oversight at the Central Bank of Eswatini, says theirs is to play their oversight role.
There will be more trade and the economy will go up. It will assist the country and also it will put Eswatini on the map. It's simple governance issues that have to be tied up, and we must ensure that all the technicalities are in place, because one thing that you must know is that the central bank, its objective in payment systems is to ensure that a payment system is safe, efficient and secure.
There are 19 countries that are members of Comesa, with a population of about 390 million according to the Comesa website. For Market View, Nelson Langamandla, Vuminkosi Nzinisa, Mbabane.
Satellite offices are in the pipeline to help the youth have more access to the Youth Enterprise Revolving Fund. This has been said by the Chief Executive Officer of the Youth Enterprise Revolving Fund, Mandla Ngambule, when detailing what they are doing to increase their reach.
The Youth Enterprise Revolving Fund was established by His Majesty King Mswati III in August 2009, and part of the fund's mandate is to alleviate poverty. It is close to 15 years now, and just over 1,000 youth have benefited under the fund. The Chief Executive Officer, Mandla Ngambule, details some of the initiatives to increase their reach.
We do have a strategy from 2022 to 2025, it's a 3-year strategy. In the strategy, we identify the gaps in our operating model. One of the gaps we identified, which we acknowledged, was the low uptake of the loans. And then the strategy came about with the modernization of the operating model. One thing we identified as a quick win was the decentralization of the services. By decentralization of services, we mean opening of offices in all the 4 regions. So we have since opened offices since 2023, last year, January, we have opened offices in all the regions. That has been fully rolled out. And we have started seeing an increase in the number of people, because what was saying, let's bring the services close to the young people. I think that one we have basically achieved. We are seeing an increase in terms of the young people on a daily basis coming to the offices to seek for services. On average, we are getting around 25 per day of young people. As you know, 4 regions are not good enough in the country. So we are happy that our board has approved so far 3 satellite offices. So we have what we call satellite offices. At Sitobelweni, we will be having a kind of a one-stop shop where we will be having the ministry's parastatals, Ministry of Sports, Culture and Youth Affairs. Sports will be there. ENYC, Eswatini National Youth Council will be there, and us will be there. We are looking at a model where we can provide a one-stop shop. So Sobelweni, we will be setting up from next month. Then we also have Tlatikulu. We'll be having those satellite offices from next month. And then Pixpeak, we have partnered with Pixpeak Town Council. As one of our partnerships with Pixpeak, we're looking at business opportunity, but they also provided an office to us, Tswahamba Kobolondo Hall, so we do have an office.
The Chief Executive Officer says the success rate of the fund is around 60%, measured by loan repayments and businesses that are still successful. For Market View, Nelson Ndlangamandla, Vumingo Sinzinisa, Mbabane.
And that's how we wrap up our business news segment. Let's go for a night break. We speak to Nelson Ndlangamandla after the break.
Sabatandi ukuthi njengalokhu sivile sive sikhulume.
Welcome back to the program. Let's look at this story. Reviewing the capacity building model for the Youth Enterprise Revolving Fund. It is very crucial for the youth if they are to succeed in business. This was said by the Chief Executive Officer of the fund, Mandla Ngambule, when responding to why a number of beneficiaries under the fund fail to sustain their businesses. Just listen to Mr. Ngambule.
Say 50% or plus of all our applications have failed the test due to poor business plans, lack of understanding of a business plan, cash flow forecasts, a lot. You find that when you look at it at face value, the business is there, idea is there, but in terms of putting it up now properly in a document, it becomes a serious challenge to the young person. So what we have done, we look into to say, maybe it's time we review our capacity building model. Because our capacity building model has always been, once you have passed, your loans have been approved, then we take it from there. And then once the loans have been approved, then we assign you a mentor, which will run with you in your business for 3 years or 36 months, kind of handhold you for the period of 36 months. But we have noted that that one still has got its own deficiencies, challenges as well, in terms of does it make an impact, but we still have got business failures because the people have missed the foundation. Some have basically seen this as an opportunity to say, I can get some money, but they do not have the business acumen. They're not ready to run any business. So one of the things we're looking into is to say, let's have some kind of a pre-entrepreneurship training. Pre-entrepreneurship training, before we even think of giving you out the money. If you've got an interest, you need to be trained. You need to be trained, because only those people who want to do business will come, will show their interest. We need to be train you on business plan. We need to train you on the cash flow forecast, general on all the aspects, characteristics of an entrepreneurship, your conduct, your compliance issues. There's a lot where we need to train on market access, etc., negotiation skills, contract management. There's a lot they need to, just to be ready, give them confidence to become resilient.
Mr. Nkambule, they're, frankly mentioning quite a lot of things that they want to, Nelly, to at least capacitate the youth before they give them the money that, is available within the fund. But I then ask myself, I didn't study business management like, the expert business management people, but I do remember that during that small module that I did, by the way, that you have to conduct a feasibility analysis, and there has to be a SWOT analysis, and the feasibility analysis really dictates whether your business is viable or not, which is probably the most important part of your research amongst your market analysis, where you look at your funds and everything. My question then becomes, because they do not give you the money without you providing the business plan, why is there a need now to train these young people when they've already submitted a business plan, which I want to assume should within it have the feasibility analysis, the SWOT analysis, the market research?
Thank you so much, Sfisa Ngvusele Nembugele Khaya. Fortunately, I spoke to the Youth Chamber of Commerce Industries, Eswatini, since this fund Vele was made for the youth.
Yeah.
So the Youth Chamber of Commerce says we don't have the money to do all that. We don't have the money to do the research on the product lines. We don't have anything. So ukanza ukuthi they submit these business plans ngekuthi nje bacabangile ukuthi this is what they want. So labakhala ngako kakhulu is they don't have the financial support. So they take their chances because there's no one supporting them through all these things financially.
It's quite interesting because as you speak about, finances, and I'm going to tangent, and you'll allow me because it also, is an alignment with the conversation that we're having. Just a few weeks ago, we saw FinCorp Chief Executive, Mr. Tumsani Msibi. He's talking about the concern around financial literacy within young people who start businesses, which therefore trickles down to a lot of business failures. Yes, they give them the money, just like the Youth Enterprise Revolving Fund gives the youth money, but they find that, yes, their business plans are not as feasible as they should be, which is why the businesses fail. But there's also this wing now where they fail because they are not financially literate. All these things that they are both, mentioning from their respective fields, they're all talking to the youth. How should these things be addressed? How do we address all these problems?
I think different organizations have seen that the youth doesn't have the right knowledge to addressing some of the challenges they face in businesses or as they start businesses. So which is why I'm glad you brought up FinCorp, because when we talk to them, they specified that we are now having a wing that will focus on the businesses. How do we improve Lawoma business plans that these people are bringing, the young people and small, medium and enterprise holders that they are bringing to us. So this is the same with the Youth Enterprise Revolving Fund. They are saying we have to go back to the drawing board and try and address the challenges from the grassroots to say labamfu bethu vele labasha, because ukuthi kune issue ye curriculum ukuthi thine si trainwe nje ukuthi kufanele sicede esikolweni si applyele these white collar jobs sihambe siyosebenza. So now they are saying ukuthi ngoba vele le curriculum le entrepreneurship kude asesicale ke nyalo noma sebakhulile, we train them so that they are able to make the business plans, they are able to kwenda lama product lines, the research and everything, because vele bayakhala ngekuthi vele site le knowledge and they don't have the business acumen, we don't have the drive and the vigor to do these businesses. So vele isala lapho ikakhulu, despite that government, I think government is really doing a lot to help emaswati ukuthi bangene like the business, but it still lacks ukuthi bamfula basha and everyone else mhlambe longena business. Le business yendiwa just the second angati uyithathe le business uthi angiyende, but nangithola umsebenzi, as soon as I get the job I will leave the business lena hulumende langifande kuyo and go to the job. So by business acumen we mean ukuthi vele you should have it in you to do the business, ungathi ngiyabambisa nje nangithola umsebenzi ngidawuyekela.
Nalobuciko obumcwa kakhulu ukuthi whilst you do the business, you don't want to just do the business but have the necessary expertise to run that business. Let's listen to Mr. Ngambule. Nelly delved into other facets of this problem that confronts the youth, as well as lama organizations la khona lafuna kubambisa bona bantu labasha ke simu.
Cyclical a process where we were calling for applications, where we open on a quarterly basis. And then that one also had caused a lot of problems because there was no continuity. So we open for the first quarter, then we end up with 1,000. In that 1,000, we start working on those, then created a backlog, delays in completing those reviews or assessments of the loans applications. So it used to take on average 6 to 9 months to complete those processes, the loan processes, get approval or deferment or rejections. So hence it's not an ideal, because the young people, they want quick turnaround times, they want quick responses, and it used to discourage the young people. Then as a result, one of our key initiatives under the new strategy have a continuous loan application process, which we have since introduced. I think that one was rolled out in August 2022, but it has been fully rolled out in 2023 financial year. So we now have a continuous loan application process. So throughout the year, any day you submit your loan, then we will receive your loan applications, we review, we do the technical assessments, we do the viability assessments, and then we provide you with a response. So it has also helped in terms of reducing the turnaround times, because the turnaround times were too long and very discouraging. The other thing we looked into was the tracking. Tracking was a problem in terms of where are those applications. We didn't have a system, it was manual. So we have since digitalized our systems fully. We have a fully fledged loan management system which has interfaced with our accounting systems and other systems, which we have fully integrated our systems.
All right, yeah, lama challenges cishe maningi tinsaya cishe dinengana, but lokungichaza ukuthi this capacity building that they are devising, and as well as the other strategies that they are proposing, njengoba veta umsuthu ngathi nangimambala atawuseweda Nelly. But maybe let's preface by looking at maybe the current problem, which is, I think the crux of it is the high youth unemployment rates. Let us talk about it. How bad is it right now? I mean, it has been highlighted. I mean, you look at the many developments that have been happening live and from Sibaya, the opening of Parliament, some of the pronouncements that have been made there as nakuthiwa ngwe ngiyakhumbula nje ukuthi indzaba ye-unemployment yayihanjiswe embili ukuthi kulongwe ayisombululwe. Lesimo sinjani vele ngumaphi ama-programs since longwe silo semhlaba samphefumula ngumaphi ama-programs sesiwabona vele asukunyisiwe kusiniketa lelo themba nje?
Simo se-unemployment eveni ikakhulu kubamfla basha sisetulu kakhulu nasibuka i-Labour Force Survey ithi 58.2% of the youth is unemployed. Kanti nawubuka i-population demography yelive leSwatini vele sekune bamfla basha kakhulu njengoba yona litiko lebamfla basha lithi bamfla basha la eveni bala kubo 70.2%, which is about 790,000, over 790,000 young people people. Kanti ke nasikhulumisana nayo i-Youth Enterprise Revolving Fund labakuvetako kwekuthi vele lesimo sibi kakhulu because 60% of the graduates lakusukela nje eminyakeni leyengcile vele ahlede awasebenzi. That is why we are seeing different ministries aqhubeka abuka indlela ukuthi engabe bamfula basha bangasitwa kanjani. That is why we have bo NAMPOD ba introduce wona ema services exita ema small and medium enterprises. We are seeing bo Eswatini National Agricultural Union isekela abalimi ngetimali kwekuthi nabo bathuthukise amabhizinisi abo nalapho kune bamfula basha. That is why we have different organizations, even the United Nations abuka ema programs, even the United States Embassy which we talk to, looking for programs ukuthi engabe la ku AGOA singachubeka kanjani siwahlanganise emabhizinisi. The Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Trade has revived le bandla le AGOA lelitawubuka ukuthi la eveni engabe sitawenda kanjani ukuthi emaswati benefit fully from this agreement. So there is a lot that the country is doing, but at the same time vele lesimo sibi ngibuka nje i-World Bank iyachaza vele kwekuthi if the youth is frustrated, that can be a source of political and social instability. So it is very important for government to do what they are doing now to ensure that the youth stays employed, the youth has income generating project, so that batokhona nabo ukuthi batiphilele singakhanzi bamfula basha mhlambe seba frustrated sebangati sebanesikhathi etandleni tabo sebangati ukuthi kufanele bendeni.
Yeah, indeed. Our job as the media, therefore, is to hold, political leaders accountable, because the most important thing in such matters is service delivery. With service delivery, so therefore, we want to continue to have these conversations. Nelly, you'll continue to be deployed on the ground to talk to, political leaders, private companies, everyone that's a leader that can make a difference to all these problems that confront Eswatini, particularly this high unemployment rate and the poverty, because all of that does affect our economy. We will want to connect soon and look at the financial markets of the day. But before I let you go, Nelsiwe, I want us to get into, the sentiments of the youth. I mean, we are looking at what the organizations are doing, the funds that are there, but what is the youth saying?
Ndo wenda nje example nge Youth Enterprise EU Chamber of Commerce Industries, I'm sorry. So they are saying, CEO, we have taken a step to ensure we reach the youth in the different communities, but satellite offices, but what the youth is saying, okay, they have tried to digitalize some of their services, like form I can just go online and download the form. But the problem is, even then, I still have to go and get the stamp. I still have to go to Mpakathi ngiyothola stamp. Still, logo kudla kimi emalini as a young person that doesn't have money, that doesn't have any income. Singakuthatha kancane, but some of these young people babuya kuma emakhaya langasiko privileged bede vele le mali mbamba. Ungathi wena 20 emalangeni imali lencane kakhulu, but sometimes kuba bede for these young people. That is what they are saying. So bathi maybe ngalelinye ilanga kutawusita nalo ukuthi mhlambe ibukwe lenzaba yaso stamp ukuthi awuthi nje ulidownloadele liform uphinze ulithwale uhambe wehle wenyuka nalo.
Yeah. All right, Nelly, thank you so much for providing your insights today. We want to go for an ad break. We want to talk to Mr. Sibia after the break about the financial markets of the day. Stocks rebounded on Monday. Today is a Tuesday. What is the Nasdaq looking like? What is the S&P 500 looking like? Mr. Sibia has all those answers after the break.
Be sure to catch Business Watch every Wednesday between 2 p.m. to 3 p.m, where we feature the latest updates on business news, market trends, and exclusive interviews with industry leaders, as well as insights on emerging small and medium enterprises in the commercial sector. Business Watch, your business leader.
All right, welcome back to the program. We are joined virtually now by Sanele Sbia. He is our economist. Mr. Sbia, welcome to the program. It's a Tuesday, and as it is a Tuesday, we saw that stocks rebounded on Monday following a rough week for the markets. I mean, the Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 0.67%. I think you did highlight that yesterday, and the S&P 500 jumped over at 0.87, I believe, and the Nasdaq Composite surged at 1.11%. Now, both ending six-day losing streaks, right? U.S. crude oil prices fell after Iran said it would not escalate its conflict with Israel. I wonder, how does that look today, as it is a Tuesday?
Hi, Mr. Numero. No, thank you for having me. Yes, I mean, today we walk, it seems like Wall Street is finally shaking off the blues and the fear that we had that was engulfing the entire world last week. So what we are seeing in terms of the stocks is, if you are looking in the US, we are seeing stocks trying to climb back now again to the comfortable levels, even though they are still trading below below the normal volumes, but we are seeing positive trends on the upwards, on the surge. So that's actually comes as a background in the fact that a number of companies will be sharing their earnings reports this week, and the economy really is expecting that. And also we are also seeing very strong economic data coming out from the US in terms of the performance of the economy, just as the interest rate saga that is not really letting on as we would have wanted it to let on. So that's how the story is in the US.
Oh, had worried about higher oil prices contributing to inflation. How is oil looking like today, and should investors really worry?
Yeah, in the start of the week, when we saw Iran sending a barrage of missiles into Israel, and then we saw Israel also retaliating, bombing an army base in Tehran. So that now sent fears in the markets, because the markets read that as a signal that the entire Middle East could go into a wider conflict. But now what we are seeing is those tensions seem to be decelerating because we have seen the world has come up very hard to really just try to get Israel not to really retaliate to that. So we are seeing the price of oil responding to that. So we are now seeing Brent crude really tries driving down to the 80 zone. So today it's trading at $97 per barrel. So that now we are really coming back to the much more equilibrium and a much more stable region. So the fears in the markets are easing off, Mr. Nmalo.
And what is gold looking like today? It looks like it's down today. I was just looking at the graphic, but it sounds like Suga on the TV. Is it down? Is it up today?
Yeah, I don't know. You see, with gold, the issue is gold was benefiting from the fear that was there in the market. So investors were moving their monies to much safer investment destinations. So that's what gold was benefiting from in the previous week. So that's why it was seen to be on this bullish upward trend. But right now, with the easing of the tensions in the Middle East, and we are seeing the equity markets really rallying. So gold has now lost a bit of ground. So if you look into London, for example, you will see that the FTSE 100 is trading at volumes unprecedented. It has never reached this highs. So we are trading at all-time highs at 8,062.90 in terms of the overall volumes. Also, the DAX in Germany, they've also broken those highs. And same thing with the French, they're also trading very well. So we are seeing that optimism returning in Wall Street, and as such, we are seeing that trade-off between equities and commodities, So that's what we are seeing in the markets right now.
Will be remiss if I let us talk about all these markets from abroad and not look at how the Lilangeni exchange value is today against all major currencies. Let's look at that and discuss that today. I mean, just a few days ago, it was 19.14 US dollars. It's a lot of money if you think about it. How is it trading today?
So today we are seeing the Lilangeni against major currencies. It has actually lost a bit of ground. So you can see that against the dollar, it has lost some 30%, some 0.30%. Against the euro, again, it has lost some 0.35%. Against the Japanese yen, we have lost some 0.39%. That, Mr. Ngumalo, should not actually be quite frightening, purely because, now with the markets easing off and with the strong economic data coming out of the US and coming out of London, because if you look at London, we have seen that food price inflation is actually decelerating very much. So that means markets know that optimism, so that is somehow taking back some of the strength that that these major currencies had before, and we too had somehow closed up in the previous days. But what is a bit worrying right now, Mr. Ngumalo, is we had somehow projected and expected that the Lilangeni should find an equilibrium against the dollar right about the 18 region, but it seems we are back in the 19, probably just trying to find a new equilibrium there. So that's what we are going to be watching out for in the short to medium term and see how that pans out.
And that's a bit of a worry, but we like to stay optimistic, Mr. Sibia. Let's hope it's going back to the 18 region very soon. Thank you for joining us on the program today. Really appreciate your in-depth analysis of today's financial markets. And that's how we end our program today. Thank you for staying with us. See you again tomorrow on Business Watch. Tomorrow. Have a good day. Bye-bye.